I want to tell you a story about how I was called to be a missionary. And I don't share this because I'm some sort of super spiritual person of any sort, but just as an example of how our extraordinary God uses just ordinary ways and ordinary means and ordinary ways of calling people, and that he calls ordinary people as well. When I became a Christian when I was in high school, I wasn't seeking God. A fellow I knew from the track team invited me to church, and I went, and I didn't know I needed the gospel. I wasn't interested in the gospel. I wasn't from a Christian family, but God just reached out to me through the love of the, and he changed my heart. I realized the gospel is true after I went to this youth group for some time, and partway through high school, I thought, I think I want to do some kind of full-time Christian ministry. I didn't know what that was. Pastor and youth pastor were the only things that were on the horizon, the only thing I knew about. But I went off to college, and I got involved in InterVarsity, Christian fellowship, the student fellowship there, and we was on this retreat, and they announced a short-term mission trip to Poland. And I don't know why, but I just thought, hey, I think I want to do that. Where did that come from? Why did I just all of a sudden want to do it? I couldn't tell you. In retrospect, I think it was just God putting that desire on my heart. I wasn't seeking it out. I hadn't heard any, wonderful sermons on the Great Commission in Matthew 28. I just thought, hey, I think I want to do that. That was my freshman year of college. For various reasons, I wasn't able to go that year. The Lord showed me I had to work on trying to tell my father about Christ and to start praying for my father and being concerned for his soul before I went off to foreign lands and tried to share the gospel with people I didn't know. I needed to share the gospel with my own family, with people who were right in front of me first. The following year, I did go, and we did a exchange kind of camp in the hills in southern Poland, and we opened up the Gospel of Mark, and we studied through the Gospel of Mark together in English, and I just enjoyed it. My eyes were open to the need for the gospel in another part of the world, which was much different from the United States, and was needier. Poland is a Catholic country, very, very few evangelicals, very few Protestants, very little gospel witness there, and so that was a revelation to me. I hadn't imagined that someplace else in the world could be so different. And I came back from that trip, and I thought, I enjoyed that. I could see myself doing something like that again. I liked learning the language and that kind of international interaction there. And 5 weeks later, I turned around and I went to France for my junior year abroad. Again, a very secular country, and that opened my eyes even more to the need for the gospel in the rest of the world. Midway through that year, I came back to the States for Christmas, and I went to the Urbana Missions Conference. It's held every 3 years in Urbana, Illinois, put on by InterVarsity. It's a student missions conference. And I heard there, it was in connection with that. I figured it was after or before, or it was right there in the conference. Someone said, Jesus said, go and make disciples of all nations. And if you want to go, then go. You don't need to wait for some sort of special mystical experience or a lightning bolt from heaven or a vision of China or Thailand or Africa in your head to have some sort of special missionary call. If God said go and you want to go, then go. And I thought to myself, I want to go. So I didn't have any sort of special mystical experience, but I think God just through very normal circumstances, through the scripture, through his people, through the various experiences I had, God was just increasingly opening my eyes and giving me a burden to be a missionary. So from that point on, it wasn't a question, would I be a long-term missionary? It's just, how would I get there? I graduated college. I worked for a while. I knew I needed to pay off some debt. I lived at home and put a lot of my money towards paying off debt. And I thought, well, I need some more experience before I plunk any more cash into a graduate degree. So I went out to Thailand for a few years. I was teaching English, and I got some Thai language. And partway through that time, I was there 2.5 years total initially, and maybe like a year, 2 years into it, I was traveling with some other missionaries. We're all driving together in a van, and another missionary said to me, are you going to come back to Thailand? I said, oh, well, I don't know. Maybe I do want to do long-term missions. I'm not sure. And she said, you should come back to Thailand. You've already had the language, and, it'd be a real shame if you didn't come back. So I thought to myself, well, I like it here, and I do know some Thai already, and, well, there's a great need for gospel witness here. Sure, okay. I'll go back to Thailand. I want to go back to Thailand. Yes, that's what I want to do. If the Lord wants to lead me elsewhere, he can feel free to intervene and show me clearly he wants me to go someplace else. But, well, he's led me here, and sure, I'll be a missionary to Thailand.